Hello, everybody. We got some testimony today on jury duty. Let's see, let me get my chat up here. There we go. All right. So who do we got today? Today is Britt, the defendant's aunt. And if I remember right, this is the person who owns the farm where the victim was found. Give a minute for anybody to join. I've got a full cup of tea. I'm ready to get into it. I hope everybody had a very happy holiday. Let's look at the new year right around the corner. So I'm pretty excited about that too. I have big plans for 2023. Got good stream health, no lag this time. So, last time, I know we weren't here last week, but a couple weeks ago we listened to Cass. That was pretty interesting. It was interesting to see how the defense questioned her. You guys recall? I think I'm going to get right into it here and see what the defendant's aunt has to say. Let me know if the volume's all right, you guys.
Good morning.
Will you state your name, please?
Kara Britt,
And Miss Britt, what is your date of birth?
3/16/60.
What do you do for a living?
Odds and ends. Self-employed.
Okay. And where do you live?
Middleburg, Florida.
Where is that in relation to Pensacola?
It's about 5.5 hours away between Jacksonville and Gainesville.
Are you related to this defendant seated over here, Ashley Britt MacArthur?
Yes, ma'am.
How so?
I am her aunt. My husband and her father are brothers.
And do you know her father's name?
John R. Britt, which is John Radcliffe.
Okay, can you spell that?
I'm not quite sure of the spelling because I don't know if it's Radcliffe or Radliff. I think it's Radliff.
Okay.
I had a good friend named Cliff, so I can confuse him.
Okay, Miss Britt, do you own any local property in this area?
Yes, ma'am.
And where is it?
It's located at 2201 Britt Road in Cantonment.
Your last name is Britt.
Correct.
Is this road named after your family?
Correct.
It is the owner of the farm.
Is that property located within Escambia County, Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
Give the jurors just a general description of that property.
We've owned it for 38, 39 years. It's 23 acres. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to live on it because my husband's job moved us. I love the place. It's gorgeous. I work very hard to keep it very maintained.
Describe what's on the property.
The property has a 3-acre lake on it. It has a huge red barn, 2-story barn. It has a mobile home. It's got a 3-boarded wooden fence as you enter. It has horses on it. It's got several pastures, pecan trees, large pecan trees. It's a place you just want to go have a glass of lemonade.
All right. And have you had a
does
chance
sound
to review
nice.
some aerial photographs of your property?
It also
before
sounds
today?
like it's
Yes,
kind
ma'am.
of remote, isolated.
I'm going to show you what have been previously marked as states 8 and 9. You'll just take a look at those and see if you recognize them.
Yes, ma'am.
And are those fair and accurate visuals of your property on Britt Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, at this time, I'd move states 8 and 9 into evidence.
Received as 8 and 9.
And permission to publish?
You may.
Watch your eyes. It's going to go right. If I give you a pointer, would you mind?
Oh, no, that'd probably be help.
Just push this button. You're just going to describe the property.
Okay. You want me to describe it now?
Sure. This is State's Exhibit number 8 for the record.
Well, obviously that's Britt Road. You always come to the end. This is an asphalted driveway up until this area. That's where we park our cars. This is our mobile home with a nice size awning and a deck on it. All these lines that you see here is all boarded, 3-boarded fence. Obviously that's the lake. There's a pier, there's a gazebo there. Lots of big pecan trees, you can't see them. This is a horse round arena. This is our barn. In our barn, you really can't tell it, but this center area is a 2-story barn. And it's got this over here and this over here. Those two sections are like large awnings. So they're open to the outside. The inside in here and the 2-story part of it is all closed in, and you can only get access to that by key. And there's a huge gate right here. Everything is always locked. So unless you know me and I specifically hand you a key, you cannot get in.
Did Ashley McCarthy have the key?
I wonder what's
Yes,
on the
ma'am,
north
because she
side
was
of that
boarding
road.
horses.
Okay.
It's a horsing facility.
Okay, and along the left side, on the left side of the barn, is that the property line for the next person?
Yes, everything that you see cleared is our property. It's a long rectangle.
This is State's Exhibit number 9, and is this just a closer up area
Correct.
of the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, was anyone living on that property? Was anyone living on that property back in August, September, October of 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and who was living there?
My son,
What's your son's name?
Kyle.
What's his last name?
I'm sorry. Kyle Britt.
Okay. And how long had your son been living on the property?
The end of July, I came over with him and we moved him over from Gainesville. He was going from Gainesville College to UWF.
Okay.
And so at the end of July, we moved him over.
I missed if this
We
was the
came in on a
defense
Friday,
questioning or the
we unpacked him on
prosecution
a Saturday, and we
questioning?
left on a Sunday.
Okay. Now, back in August, September, October, did you come to Pensacola periodically?
Yes, ma'am. At that time, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you maintaining the property out there?
Yes, ma'am.
You had mentioned that Ashley had a horse on that property?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and in September of 2017, how long had she had a horse out there?
She's had a horse out there, not the same horse, 2 different horses for the last 7 years.
Now, did you have a wedding out there in 2017?
Hey there, Terry. Thanks for stopping
Yes,
by.
ma'am. My son got married there.
Yeah, of course. You can catch
That
up on the
was in
case. I think
April.
this is the 3rd installment on this case.
And
Maybe the
did
2nd
Ashley
installment.
attend that wedding?
Yes, ma'am.
But there's a couple witnesses before this one, so check out my live history if you want to see more.
In the first part of September, Was Ashley doing any type of work out there that you knew of?
Ashley never worked out there.
Do you know about a hammock that was on your property?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell the jurors about a hammock.
I was in town in February because my future daughter-in-law was having a bridal shower. So we were also lining up, because it's the traveling so much, we were lining up venue stuff along with that shower. So we had several companies come out, music, caterers, whatever.
Okay, let me focus you on the hammock.
Yes, no, but, right. So we were doing things for the wedding, and the hammock was out there that shouldn't have been out there.
Okay.
And it was hanging in the trees, so I walked out it, and I didn't know whose it was, and I took it down because it was going to be in the way of our theme.
Where'd you put it?
I rolled it up and I put it under a bench under the awning part of the barn because I didn't know whose it was at that time, and
Okay, my question was, where'd you put it?
I put it on the bench.
Just trying to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you're nervous. I know you're nervous.
I just put it on the bench outside the barn under the awning.
Thank you, ma'am. And can you describe the hammock for the jurors?
Yes, ma'am. Blue, green, purple. Color, mainly blue. It was parachute-like. I know that because the
I
wind
never
caught
thought
it.
about how challenging it would be to answer questions with just like
did it
yes
seem
or
like
no
it was
and
heavier
not
or kind of lightweight
elaborate.
material?
If I can carry it, it's lightweight. I'm getting older.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Britt. Those are all my questions.
All right, Mr. Barry Barosset's going to ask you questions, and if they're just yes or no, please answer yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
We saw how frustrating that could be in the last episode. We saw
Good afternoon, Ms.
When Cass was
MacArthur. I'm Barry
testifying.
Barosset. How you doing?
I'm Miss Britt.
Excuse me, Miss Britt. Excuse me.
that's the
You
prosecutor.
said
Thanks,
you've owned the
SB.
property out there for over 30 years, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And during that time, you created a real pretty venue, did you not?
We created that prior to leaving. It was created that way prior to leaving.
Prior to
It
leaving what?
looks that exact same way when we left 38 years ago. Nothing's changed.
Okay.
Ma'am, just move that microphone.
Just take it in your hand, up here. Don't, yes,
Oh,
just
this?
pull it to you,
Okay, perfect.
and that way you don't have to be in the light.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right.
And the property is well maintained to this day, is that correct?
The lady was
Yes,
the
sir.
prosecutor.
And
Okay.
in September, it was well maintained as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what I'd like to do, you say this is a pointer? Michelle?
Yes, here's.
Okay. This is Britt Road, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you come into your property, there's a little road here that goes to a parking area, correct?
Yeah.
Right along
Yes,
there. Now, what is this right there? This building?
I didn't see a red light. What is that?
Yes.
That's our mobile home. It
Okay.
sits there.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as defense exhibit number 1 for identification.
Okay.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of what it purports to be?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to offer defense exhibit number 1 into evidence.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing this guy, but he's working for
All
the
right,
defense in
received
some
as defense
capacity.
exhibit one.
Okay. And would you hold that up and tell the jury what that is, please? Yes.
This is a picture. This is a picture of our mobile home.
Okay. And that's the first building that you come to, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, you also talked about a barn, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, the barn is right there, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to switch to the next one if I'm going the right way, to the right here. Okay. Is that a close-up of the barn?
Yes, sir.
What's on this side of the barn right here?
That whole sign is
Oh,
a long
okay, Christina.
awning with,
He's the
open
father of the
padlocks on
father-son
it.
defense
May I
team.
approach the witness, Your
That
Honor?
makes sense, because I thought it was someone different who questioned Cass.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as defense exhibit number 2. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of that side of the barn?
Yes, sir.
Like to offer defense exhibit number 2 into evidence?
Judge, I have no objection.
Received as defense 2.
Ms. Britt, would you hold that up as well for the jury, and they'll have this later to see? I'm sorry, Your Honor.
That light.
Okay. And what that is you're looking this direction, correct? Look up here on the screen, I'm sorry. This direction into that paddock area?
Yes, sir.
And in the paddock area is where you said you saw or put the parachute, is that correct?
No, sir.
No? Where did you put it? I'm sorry.
It was on a bench. It was on a bench that sits in that corner right there.
Okay, on this side right here.
Opposite side, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, I'd like to show you, I'm going to show you a couple photos, but first of all, I'm going to show you defense exhibit number 3.
That's a long dock.
Do you recognize defense exhibit number 3?
Yes, sir.
And that is also a photo of the paddock area?
Yes, sir.
Is it fair and accurate representation?
For that side of the barn, yes, sir.
Okay, good. I'd like to offer defense exhibit 3 into evidence.
No objection.
Received as defense 3.
And Ms. Britt, would you please hold that up? Okay. Now, am I correct in that photo there that you are looking in this direction?
Correct.
In other words, you're looking from the trailer toward that section, correct?
You would see that description, yes.
Okay. Now, you're very particular about this property, are you not? You like to keep it very neat.
Yes, sir.
And how many times would you say you've been out on that property, say from, you said April, you went there and Ashley MacArthur attended a wedding to your brother, or your son, Carl?
Correct.
And the whole family was there, is that right?
Correct.
How many times do you believe that you went out to the property up through, say, October of 2017?
My goal was to be there every other weekend, but that didn't happen. I was approximately there maybe 3 to 4 times.
Okay. And was one of those times in early August when your son moved in? About August the 5th?
I drove him over there and delivered him that weekend in July 1st of
Ma'am,
August. I know, this
Answer
is
the
hard.
question.
That's okay.
Re-ask the question.
Was it approximately August the 5th when he moved in?
No, sir.
Did you bring him over around that period of time of August the 5th? Or did you come over that weekend, do you
No,
recall?
sir.
When do you recall bringing him over the first time to set up the trailer?
The weekend I came over was the last weekend of July, first weekend of August. I don't recall that date. I want to say it was like the 29th.
Okay, last week of July, first week of August. So sometime before August the 5th.
It was before then, yes, sir.
And did he move in at that time?
No, sir.
What was the purpose of coming over then?
We just brought his belongings over and unpacked his boxes on that Saturday.
Okay. You moved some of his personal effects in, but he didn't move in himself.
Correct.
And then when was the next time you think you came over?
The next time after that was probably in July, August. I'm going to say sometime in August, later in August.
Okay. And is that about the time that he moved in right before school?
He moved in about 10 days prior to school starting. I don't recall that date.
Okay. Was he moved in there by the end of August or the 1st of September?
Yes, sir.
And did you come over during that period of time?
Yes, sir.
And
I got my
on
notepad
these
here
occasions
this
when you
time.
came over, it was not unusual for you to come over and see Miss MacArthur, is that correct?
She would see me, yes.
She would see you?
Yeah, right, because we'd text back and forth, and she would always want to come
Okay.
see me, because I was doing a wedding.
Ma'am?
I know,
Ma'am?
this is tough.
Ma'am, is
Yes.
Easy, just answer the question. Don't tell the whole story.
Okay.
Thank you.
I
You do
think I would
see
find it hard
Ashley
too
MacArthur
to
in the
just say
courtroom,
yes
do
or
you
no
not?
and
Yes,
Would you point
not
to her?
elaborate.
Is that your niece?
yes,
Let the record reflect that she is
It will.
Miss MacArthur. You had a good relationship with Miss MacArthur, did you not?
yes,
You had a very good relationship, I think. You described it as Wonderful, great, good
No.
connection.
Yes,
Is that true?
yes,
And many times when you'd come over, she'd bring you breakfast,
yes,
and sometimes you'd meet for dinner.
yes,
And so it was not unusual for you to see each other, whether she came over to see you or vice versa, correct?
Yes.
So you had what you call a good connection.
yes.
Now, do you recall, did you come to the farm anytime after the first part of August? You know, end of July, first part of August. Did you come after that time?
Okay, ask your question again.
After July, end of July, 1st of August, when he moved in his effects, did you come back again?
After, yes.
Do you remember approximately when?
It was more towards the end of August and in September and in October.
Okay. Did you also come in September, like September the 22nd, from Savannah, Georgia?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you ever meet a person by the name of Taylor White?
No, sir.
Did you ever become aware of Taylor White missing?
No, sir.
When you came in September, did you go out to your property on Britt Lane?
Yes, sir.
And did you stay there?
Yes, sir.
How many days did you stay there?
I only stayed for weekends. I was meeting brides.
You were meeting brides?
Yes.
So when you were there, it was not uncommon for you to be on the property, in the barn, correct?
Yes.
All over the property. In the trailer?
I wouldn't use those words all over the property, no. I was focused on a wedding venue. I was doing work, business.
Where was the wedding venue mainly?
Mainly was probably from this point here, that direction. All of this. Brides would put things over here. The gazebo was used, and on the back side of the property down here, it gets more of a natural look.
Okay.
Not this area, no.
But is it fair to say that you did maintain the property when you were there? Worked on the property?
With lawnmowers and chainsaws, yes, sir.
Okay. And
Yeah,
in
SP, this is the
October,
original murder trial.
This fence line here, did you trim
forgot what year it
branches
was.
along here?
One tree, yes.
One
So I
tree?
didn't, yes, sir. I
2019.
didn't trim up the property line, no, sir.
At least I think that's the original one.
Let me show you a photo. There's two photos that are marked Defense Exhibit number 4 and 5 for identification. I'd like you to look at these photos. And Defense Exhibit number 4 purports to be a view from your barn here, looking this way. Do you recognize that?
Do I recognize these?
Number 4.
Yes, sir.
You do recognize that?
Right, it's property line.
Okay. And do you see where there's some brush had been trimmed right in this area?
Do I see that?
Yeah, on the photo.
I guess.
Do you recall telling people that you had trimmed brush right along here, tree limbs?
One tree, about 3 branches. So I didn't trim up trees, no, just one
You used
large. I used a chainsaw and a stick is what I call it, yes, sir.
And does that look like the area, number 4, where you trimmed?
Oh, definitely not, no, sir.
Definitely not?
Definitely not, no, no, I did not. The tree I worked on is, you can't even see
Yeah,
it
I think
in
that
this
there's
picture.
25
The tree I
different
cut's not in this
videos, and some
picture.
of them are like
Okay,
half
where
hour
was the
long,
tree
and
you
some of them
cut?
are
It's
an
down
hour or
here.
more, so it's going to take a while to get through the whole thing.
It's down here. See all this tree right here? There's a fence in there. See this fence? That fence runs
think this
along
is where
that
the victim
line.
was
I trimmed
found,
the
by
tree
this
back in
fence.
here.
Would you look at
Not
Defense
in
Exhibit?
there.
Would you look at Defense Exhibit number 4?
Yes.
Isn't there a fence there?
Yes, sir. It runs that whole property line. I'm not following your question.
My question is, did you trim along that fence line?
In this picture, no, sir, I did not.
But you recognize that picture as being one that's right here, correct?
That picture is right in here.
Okay.
What
Like
I
Alfred
cut
and
is
Devon's?
that down here.
Like Alfred and Devon's?
All right, received as defense 4.
I'd like you to look at defense exhibit number 5. Do you know what that purports to be?
What was your question?
Do you know what that photograph purports to be?
Yeah, it's a picture of the property line.
Okay. And do you recall when I came out to visit you?
Yes, sir.
And look at the property line, and you took me along here, this area? We walked your property.
Right.
Do you remember walking along here?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember showing me where the remains of Taylor Wright were found?
You
Hey,
asked
Conga,
me.
it's
and
okay.
I figured.
We're going to be watching
Yes,
two
sir.
different
And
testimonies
did
today,
you show
so
me?
Yes, sir.
And does that picture in defense exhibit number 5 purport to be that area?
I guess. I haven't made it a mental note of it.
Okay. I'd like to offer that in Devon's.
All right, received as defense number 5.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Britt, will you agree with me that the location of the remains of Taylor Wright were approximately there?
No, sir, they weren't.
Okay, where were they?
They were more up this right there.
Well, I said approximately. Right there, you're saying.
Okay, well.
Okay.
That's a little more, okay.
That is probably 30 feet from the out edge of the barn, isn't it?
I've never measured it.
Well, you've walked it. Is it 10
You mean
feet?
from there to there?
Yes.
It'd probably be, probably 30 feet, okay.
Okay. And this is the trailer, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, yeah.
I'm
my bad.
referring, and
Yes.
when I say this, I'm referring to State Exhibit number 9 we've been talking about. This fence line and this blow up of it is Defense Exhibit number 9. What is this right here? This portion?
Wait a minute, where's defense exhibit 9?
Right, this is it up here, Your Honor.
Okay, that would be states.
Oh, excuse me, I'm correct. I'm incorrect.
let me make
State
sure.
Exhibit 9.
Okay.
I apologize, Your
Sure,
Honor.
just trying to make sure record's clear.
I understand. Thank you, Your Honor. This is the porch,
Yes, sir.
and on that porch, it's a nice porch area. You've got chairs and sitting areas and all that, correct?
Yes,
And from this porch area, you've got a view of this area, don't you?
yes, sir.
Now, during the time that you were out on this property, after the beginning of September, till October, when you trimmed some things along here, and you said, I think that was what weekend did you trim that?
I trimmed that
well, if it's 30 feet from the barn to the
the
fence, it's about
15th or
30
the
feet from
16th of
where she trimmed
October.
that
Okay.
tree. Where
During
the
all
remains were
those
found.
times when you were out there, did you ever see anything such as blood anywhere?
No, sir.
In the barn, did you see any drag marks on the property?
No, sir.
Did you see anything that would indicate that anyone was murdered on your property?
No, sir, I would never even think that.
I understand you wouldn't
Yeah.
think it, but obviously if you were out there and everything during this period of time, you would have noticed that something was unusual, wouldn't you?
In a heartbeat, I'd notice something unusual, but
Ma'am, don't.
I know, yeah, it's hard. It's tough.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
Because this area is almost like a park area. It's well trimmed, well maintained.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he's got a point. She had to have gone over there at some point to the area, considering how well she takes care of her property. You know?
Your son, Kyle, developed a good relationship with Ashley, did he not?
It's his cousin. I would say yes to that.
I mean, during the time that he lived there, from probably sometime near the end of August through October, they had a good relationship, correct?
You'd have to ask him.
You recall describing as they had a good time.
Yeah, she's having a hard
I've never
time
been asked that
not
until this
elaborating.
Pardon?
You've never asked me that until this second, so I can't answer that.
Well,
We're cousins, so I
was
guess.
it such a relationship that he would hang out with her at the Styx Lounge? Or
Most
Styx-
definitely, he was wanting to meet family, if that's what you're asking. Yes, he would have a lot of family here.
And in fact, you even went out to the Styx Lounge, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And you didn't particularly care for it, did you?
No, I did. I got tired of talking about, well, never mind. Yes or no? Yes. This is tough.
Are you close, Mr.
Mr. Barasa, because otherwise I need to give the jury.
I am close, Your Honor.
Okay.
Let me check with John a second. I think
Okay.
you're very close.
Okay.
I think I'm just about ready. Just let me breeze through these a little bit and look at my notes. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Jensen?
Ms. Britt, Mr. Barasa, thank you. Mr. Barasa said, or something to the effect of you didn't find anything unusual out there at the times you were out on the property, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you looking for anything unusual?
No, ma'am.
Were you looking for a dead body?
No, ma'am.
And did anyone, or not anyone, did you really pay a whole lot of attention to this property line to the left of the barn?
Honestly speaking, I don't focus on that. This side here. My pointer quit working. I don't look that way. I look at the pretty parts of the property.
Okay, so again, my question was, did you really pay a whole lot of attention to
No,
this
ma'am.
property line?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and then the fence that runs along that property line, does it stop right where I'm pointing, right about here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's a corner post.
All right. Now, Mr. Barasa asked you if on October 15th or October 16th when you were out there, if you saw any blood or any drag marks. Do you remember that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember.
And he said there was nothing to indicate that someone had been murdered?
Right.
Right. Okay. Well, there was a body found out there, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Those are all my questions.
All right, is she free to go?
Or is she,
Let me check with Mr. and Mr. Barasa.
okay. And then folks, we're going to take a break. Just hang on one sec, okay?
That's not working, Judge, or I couldn't get it.
Okay, don't,
This information.
just leave it there.
Yes, ma'am.
So she can be released from the state under defense.
All right, you're completely released, but don't discuss your testimony,
Yes,
okay? Thank
All right. Well, I guess we learned some things from her. The next one here, we have the defendant's ex-boyfriend and lover, Brandon. I don't know, Beatty. Brandon Beatty takes the stand next. I feel like the other defense attorney was way more confrontational than that guy was. Although he did get a little bit of pushback on some of his questions. All right, so let's listen to what Brandon has to say.
Microphone, state your name and spell your last name, please.
Brandon Lee Beatty, B-E-A-T-T.
You guys want me to speed this up? I can put it on like 1.25 speed if you want me to. I think I remember how to do it. Well, if you want it, I'll figure it out again.
Why?
You may inquire. Thank you. Mr. Beatty, what is your date of birth?
10/15/1984.
And Mr. Beatty, do you have 2 prior felonies?
Correct.
Is one for a suspended license?
Correct.
And is the other for purchasing stolen property?
Correct.
Okay. Now, Mr. Beatty, back in 2016 and 2017, did you own a bar or like a pool hall?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the name of it?
Sticks Billiards.
Oh, he's the owner of Sticks.
And you
How did you spell sticks?
STIX.
and what was the address?
8600 Pensacola Boulevard.
Did you meet Ashley MacArthur through Sticks?
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
let's do the
And when did you first meet her?
1.25 here. How did I do it?
When I purchased the business.
Okay. Do you remember approximately when that?
I thought I just right-clicked it.
Thank you.
Oh,
Correct.
wait. Oh, this is the wrong one. My bad,
Pull up
you
to the
guys.
microphone, state your name and spell your last name, please.
This is the one we need to be on, but I thought it was in here that I got to put it on 1.25.
That was
Sorry, guys.
Maybe, August
Can't figure it out.
2016.
16, I believe it was.
Okay. And initially, what was your?
Exactly, SP.
What
There's
was
a
your
whole lot of
relationship
things I
with
bet
Miss
you that we
MacArthur?
didn't get to hear because of their yes or
Just
no stuff.
Business originally.
Okay. Did she? What was your business relation? What was the connection?
She owned the jukebox that was in my building.
Okay. And at some point, did you and Miss MacArthur start a sexual relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in July, August, September 2017, did Ashley MacArthur come up to your bar regularly?
Yes, ma'am.
How often would she come up there in a week?
Every day.
Dang.
And did there come a point where Miss MacArthur was spending money on your business?
Yes, ma'am.
Did there come a time when Miss MacArthur was spending money on you personally?
Yes, ma'am.
About how long into your friendship or relationship did that start occurring?
Pretty much out the gate.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
He said out the gate?
Like, from the beginning.
Lean into the microphone. We're having trouble hearing.
She spent money on him right when they met,
The
basically.
reporter's head is right in front of his face. I can't see him. I'm sorry.
Can you move a little closer or further away?
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, but I need you to lean in and speak up.
Okay.
Thank you.
How much and how often was Ashley MacArthur spending money on you? I'm sorry?
I don't know how to answer that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Pretty regular.
Okay. And in about a year's time frame, how much money do you think she spent?
No way of really knowing, to be honest with you.
Okay. Was she paying the Gulf Power bill at Sticks?
She did a couple times.
Not her own
Was she
money,
buying
exactly.
alcohol for your business?
I'm not sure. Maybe so.
Was she buying supplies at Sam's Club for your business?
Yes, ma'am, she did.
Okay. In approximately August of 2017, did she buy your motorcycle?
I'm not sure the date, but yes, she did purchase a motorcycle.
Okay. What color was it?
Blue and black.
So that $34,000 went to this guy, huh? I imagine it is, yeah, Kinga. It doesn't look pleasant.
You may.
Mr. Beatty, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit number 39, page 77. Is that the motorcycle?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how much that motorcycle costs?
Don't lean away, lean in.
I apologize.
Okay.
I think it was like 8,000 or maybe just a hair more.
Okay. And do you know how Miss MacArthur paid for this motorcycle?
Cash.
How do you know that?
She sent me a picture.
Of the cash?
Yes.
Okay. Did Ms. MacArthur also buy you a boat?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
And approximately when did that purchase take place?
I'm not real sure of the date.
Was it a 1978 Post fishing yacht?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does July 2017 sound perhaps right?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. How much was that boat?
30 grand.
And how was that boat paid for?
She brought me $15,000 in cash, and then she went and paid the remainder. I don't know if she paid him in cash or check or whatever. She went and paid the remainder.
Okay.
I guess trying to impress this guy? I have no
Did she pay
idea.
for your cell phone?
She did give me a cell phone, correct? Yeah.
Okay. But she paid the bill for it?
On that phone, yes, ma'am.
All right. How many phones did you have?
2.
Okay. And do you recall the phone numbers back then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Give me the first one.
530-2225.
Was that 850?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the other one?
377-6298.
Okay. And was that 850 as well?
Correct.
Which was the number that Ashley paid for?
The 6298 number.
Okay. Did Miss MacArthur ever tell you about a horse farm that her aunt owned?
Yeah, yes, she did.
What'd she tell you about it?
I don't remember. She went to the farm, or something like
Okay,
that.
I understand. And had you ever been out there?
I've never been there.
Did she tell you where it was?
I think there's more than one, actually.
Okay, what about the one in Escambia County?
It's like off of 97 or 297 or something.
Did Ashley ever introduce you to a Taylor Wright?
No, ma'am.
Did Ashley MacArthur ever say anything about Taylor Wright to you?
Once, a couple different times. Like once, I think they was in New Orleans together or something.
Okay.
And then when the girl come up missing, like she told me her friend was missing,
Okay. And what did she say about her friend being missing?
The police had took her phone, or she told me that the girl had ran off with her husband's money or something, and just gone.
Okay. And what else did she say about finding her?
That she told me they'll never find that bitch. She's gone.
Folks in the audience, I just heard a reaction, and I'm not sure who made it, and I'm sorry, Miss Jensen, just start shouting over you. If I figure out who's doing it, you're going to be gone for the day. No reaction. Go ahead, Miss Jensen.
She said they'll never find that bitch. She's gone.
Correct.
Okay. Now, do you know if Ashley MacArthur carried a gun?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And where would you see these guns?
Normally in her Jeep.
I mean, everything led back to her SP.
What color was her Jeep?
How did she think she could
She
get
had
away with
two, a
it?
black one and a white one.
Which one did she normally drive that you saw?
The black one mainly.
The victim's remains were even found on her
Mr.
aunt's
Beatty,
property.
did Ashley MacArthur give you guns?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how often?
She didn't think
It
this
varied
through.
several.
But why would she just buy this dude a $30,000 yacht? $8,000 motorcycle? And who knows how many smaller purchases,
show you State's Exhibit number 139, page 7041. Do you recognize that Glock?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll lean in the microphone.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand
And
how
I'm
he didn't
showing
find
you
that
the second
suspicious.
photograph. Well, that's what kind of Glock is that?
That's a 45. It's a Model 30S.
And do you recognize this gun as well, also on page 741?
Correct.
What is that?
It's a 380. It's a Model 42.
And then on page 7044, do you recognize that gun?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that?
That's a Kimber Sis, 1911.
Okay. And did Mr. MacArthur give you those 3 guns?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still have them?
No, ma'am.
What did you do with them?
I put them on a gun broker or a gun form.
Did Ms. MacArthur also give you a...
I don't think she
Smith
had
&
any
Wesson
way to
38?
replenish the
Yes,
fund.
ma'am.
And what did you do initially with that gun?
I traded it off the gun for him also.
Okay. And were you able to track it down a few weeks ago for law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mr. Beatty, I'm going to show you States Exhibits 152, 153, and 154. You'll take a look at those. Do you recognize that gun?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is that the gun that Ashley MacArthur gave you?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, at this time, I move States 152, 153, and 154 into evidence.
Objection. Any approach, Your Honor?
Okay. Counsel approach with court reporter, please mute the microphones. You may proceed.
Okay, Judge, at this time, I would move 152, 153, and 154 into evidence.
It'll be received over defense objection.
And I would just like to publish to the jury.
Sure.
And he just like sold the guns for her. I forgot what date the guns were given to him, but if it was like after this girl went missing,
For
he
the
just
record,
like
this is 152.
sold the guns for her.
This is 153, and this is 154. When did Ashley MacArthur give you that 38?
A short period of time before she went to jail.
Say that again?
A short period of time before she went to jail.
And when she gave it to you, did she say anything about it?
She just told me it was like a cheap gun. She didn't care what I did with it.
Okay. The other guns that she had...
Sir, is that bothering you? We'll put the cap on.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I was just saying a lot.
Okay. All right, but now you can move back in front of the microphone.
The other guns that she gave you, I mean, would she typically give you instructions or directions on what to do?
No.
Those are my questions. Thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. Barry Barosset is going to ask you questions. If they're just yes or no, answer yes or no. Don't volunteer extra information. Okay? Thank you.
Please, Mr. Beatty, I'm Barry Barosset. I wanted to ask you some questions.
Yeah, I said his name right.
Your relationship began with Ashley MacArthur in August of 2017, is that correct?
No, sir. It would be
2016, 2016. And it lasted for a little over a year, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Till about October 2017?
Yes, sir.
And during that time, you owned Sticks Lounge, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember Kay Townley initially coming in with Miss MacArthur when they dealt with the business relationship?
Yes, sir.
Right. Miss Townley, it was one of them that would also come in and get change out of the jute boxes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You were familiar that Ashley MacArthur had a business called Pensacola Amusement or Automatic Amusement?
Yes, sir.
And part of that was to service bars, restaurants with different types of electronic equipment for money, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was primarily a cash business, wasn't it?
Yes and no. You could use a debit card on like the jukebox.
Oh, you could? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
But
And-
other than that, yeah, it's cash.
But basically, it would not be unusual to get quite a bit of cash out of those things on a typical basis.
Correct.
And how long and how often would either Miss Townsend or Miss MacArthur come in and collect cash out of the jukebox?
I believe once a week is what it was supposed to be.
And is it in your business? She didn't pay for all the liquor, did she?
No, sir.
There were occasions when you were short or something had to come in, she would have to go and, in effect, pay for it.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct? What about, they also mentioned some of the electric bills or anything. Did she pay for those consistently?
No, sir.
On occasion, did she?
Yes, sir.
And we also talked about, I believe, a cell phone. You had
It's in the
two
boat,
cell
buddy.
phones. Did she ever explain to you why she wanted you to have a separate cell phone?
No, sir.
You and she were having a relationship, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
And at some point in time, her husband became aware of it,
Yes, sir.
and this relationship continued. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You also mentioned that she had firearms in her vehicles. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever see her packing a firearm, carrying a firearm, bringing a firearm around?
No, sir.
Where did you see the firearms most?
In her vehicle.
And did you ever see her act recklessly with these firearms, or point them at anyone, or threaten anyone with these firearms?
No, sir.
During the course of time that you knew her, I understand that you also received a lot of firearms from her.
Yes, sir.
This didn't just happen in September or October of 2017, did it?
No, sir.
Would you say, and could you explain how often you got firearms from her and how it happened? And you can explain. I ask you to explain if you want.
Quite regular.
Quite regularly.
Yes, sir.
Gotta
Do
get a
you
new pen. My
remember
pen died.
specifically, you got AR-15s?
Yes, sir.
How many AR-15s did you get from her?
I believe 4.
And what were you doing with these AR-15s?
Just collecting them.
Did you also sell someone gun broker, gun trader?
Later on, yes.
I mean, during the course of your collection of firearms, would you typically go to Gun Trader yourself and purchase guns?
Correct.
A Kimber. A Kimber is a make of a firearm.
Correct.
And the Kimber is a semi-automatic firearm, correct?
Correct.
Can you tell the jury how many Kimbers you probably received from Miss MacArthur?
I believe 3 or 4 also.
And do you recall what type they were?
Yes, sir.
What type were they?
A revolver. It was a 357, I believe, and then Kimber Micro, which is a 380, and then a Kimber Sis, which is a 45. That's just what I remember.
Okay. And the Kimber, the revolver, is one where you pull the trigger and the barrel goes around.
Correct.
The other ones are pistols where they're also semi-automatic, but they got a clip or a magazine, correct?
Correct.
What about Glocks? How many of those did you get from her?
It's hard to say. 3 or 4 probably.
Maybe more?
Maybe more.
What about shotguns? Did you get any shotguns?
Yes, sir.
Did she give guns to people? You aware of?
Not to anybody.
Other than you?
Correct.
And during the time that she gave these firearms to you,
That is a lot
what
of
were the
guns.
circumstances? I mean,
It was just a gift.
a gift.
What? A boat,
She also
a
pointed out
motorcycle, a
that
bunch
there
of
were
guns.
3 or 4 firearms that she showed you pictures of, and I believe those were. Let me see where those are. Right over here, Matt.
Their relationship is really suspicious to me. I don't know about you guys.
Well, those were in the big exhibit, were they not? She didn't introduce them. Any event, these firearms that she showed you pictures of, those were firearms basically that she gave you as well.
Yes, sir.
And I think some of those may have been in September or October,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not sure.
Yes, sir.
She also showed you a picture of a .38 revolver. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, man.
What
That's-
numbers are those?
That's a lot of
For the
them.
record.
152, 153, and 154.
I guess the 3 guns she gave him in October aren't so
And
suspicious
when
anymore.
She gave you that firearm as well?
Yes, sir.
With respect to any of these firearms, I don't care when you got them, whether you got them early on when she started
This is
giving
only
you
the
firearms,
course
or
over a
later
year, I think.
in October when you, I don't know
A
if you
little
got
over a
firearms in
year.
October 2017.
August
Did she
to
ever say
October.
to you, get rid of this firearm?
sir.
Did she ever suggest to you, look, you got to hide this firearm?
No, sir.
Did she ever suggest to you that, be careful with this firearm, don't give it to anybody or anything like that?
No, sir.
Was there any conditions on any of these firearms other than you can do with them what you want?
No, sir.
Is that correct?
Correct.
You never met Taylor Wright, is that true?
Correct.
Did she ever talk to you about Taylor Wright being a private eye? Did you know that she was a private eye investigator?
Yeah,
It was a
I believe
gun,
so, because she
SP.
was driving her vehicle one time,
Who was driving the vehicle?
Murder weapon was a gun.
Driving,
like a white truck, like a SUV.
that was Taylor Wright's?
Correct.
That was your understanding?
Correct.
So you knew that she, did you
It was a
also know
pistol
that
to be
Taylor
exact. I don't
Wright
remember
carried
the
guns?
caliber.
No,
You didn't know that?
no.
Did she ever tell you, you said something about the fact, you asked her about Taylor Wright, and she says, they'll never find that bitch, or where's that effect? Did she say that in an angry way?
No, sir.
Did you take it as though she had done something to her?
No, sir.
Did you know that, did she ever discuss with you the fact that Taylor Wright was going through a divorce?
Yes, sir.
Did she ever tell you about the fact that they were having Taylor Wright and her husband were having a acrimonious relationship over the divorce or money? By that I mean, they were having trouble over money
Oh, yes,
problems?
sir. Yes, sir.
You said the motorcycle that she bought you weren't present when she bought the motorcycle, were you?
No, sir.
She bought it at a place on Fairfield,
Yes, sir.
and I think you said she handled that transaction but sent you a picture of some money?
Yes, sir.
And the boat, when you got the boat, that was in July of 2017. That's what the state...
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Did Ashley always appear to have a lot of money?
Yes, sir.
Not only for you, but did she buy things for other people, like laptops?
Yes, sir.
Some of the people that work for you?
Yes, sir.
Who are you aware of that she bought laptops for?
It seems maybe one of the bartenders, and then one of the guys that like cleans my yard and stuff, and he did other work for me.
How many bartenders did you have that worked for you?
I believe 3 at the time.
Could you tell the names of them?
Jessica, Sam, and Audrey.
Jessica, Sam, and Audrey.
Yep.
What, do you know their last names?
No, I don't.
Jessica Fowler?
No, it's not.
Wheel, excuse me.
Yes,
Jessica
maybe
Wheel.
that might be it.
Okay. In your dealings with Ashley MacArthur, did she appear to be an angry person?
No.
Object, can we approach?
Yes, you may approach.
During the course of the year that you knew Ashley MacArthur, over a year, did you know other people that she knew? People that worked with you?
Yes, sir.
How many people that were in that group that worked at your bar?
Several.
And were there a lot of people that hung out there?
Yes, sir.
And during those period of times, you said that Ashley MacArthur spent almost every day or night there, correct?
Correct.
And you were there as well, right?
When I was in town, yes.
And during that period of time, did you come to know her reputation among those people as being a peaceful person?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to object, can we approach?
Counsel approach with the court, order. Ms. Jensen, did you want to make a motion?
I do, Judge. I'm going to move to strike Mr. Brossett's last question and the response from the witness.
All right, I will strike the question and the whatever part of the answer, and you are not to consider that. Mr. Barossett is still up, and he will continue.
What's strange about that kind of objection, like that statement's already gotten into the jury's brain, even if they try not to think about it. It's not like you can just forget it.
I understand that you received a number of firearms from her, correct?
Correct.
And is it fair to say that you don't know exactly when you received these firearms?
Correct.
Do you even know if you received the .38 in the summer or in the fall?
It was in the fall.
When?
I don't know the date.
Do you know if it was in beginning of September, August?
It seemed like it was later. It was right before she was arrested.
You think it was in October?
Yeah.
But even
I would bet yours.
even then, there was no comment about it, get rid of this gun or anything like that?
No, sir.
Have you seen her? You've seen her physically, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Is she a big person or a strong person?
No, sir.
You've never been out to the farm, is that correct? Either the farms in Milton or in off of 297?
No, sir.
I wanted to see his face when he answered that question. I don't care about
Did
this
she
guy.
ever make any demands for you for money or pay her back or anything like that?
No, sir.
Were you aware of any settlements that she received?
No, sir.
Did you ever see Miss MacArthur ever touch drugs or use drugs?
No, sir.
Did you ever hear Ashley Taylor ever mention any animosity toward Taylor Wright?
No, sir.
I know you made the one comment, but did she ever say anything like, you know, I'm going to take care of her, I'm going to knock her off, or I'm going to do something to her physically?
No, sir.
Did you ever hear Ashley MacArthur ever say Taylor Wright needs to disappear?
No, sir.
Did you ever hear Ashley Wright ever use that word with somebody else?
Yes, sir.
Who was that with?
Another girl that I was seeing,
And what was her name?
Chelsea.
And she said she needs to disappear.
Correct.
Be gone.
Correct.
She never threatened that person, did she?
No, sir.
He said another girl that I was seeing. He's just talking about probably because he was seeing Ashley, but I wonder how many other people.
Mr. Beatty,
Yeah.
Ashley MacArthur
Possibly
didn't
been seeing-
specifically say get rid of this 38, correct?
Correct.
But she did say she didn't care what you did with it.
Correct.
And
Taylor?
did she know that you sold and traded firearms?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Those are all my questions.
May I, Your Honor, want to correct something? I said the word Ashley Taylor and I was referring to,
I think we got it.
okay, Taylor Wright is what I was referring to.
I think that,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I think the jury did by the rest of your question.
I just misspoke.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, is he free to go?
He can be released from the courthouse.
From the courthouse, meaning the trial itself, or just the
He
courthouse?
could potentially be called back, but for now he's released from the courthouse.
All right.
All because he owns
You're released to
sticks.
leave the courthouse, but if we call, you have to come back and don't discuss your testimony.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Call your next witness.
So I thought it was kind of interesting that she kind of built up the reputation of being wealthy in front of like this specific group of people. And I know she was like a CSI investigator before this. And her argument is that herself and the victim, Taylor Wright, had started a business together. The Sticks Party's irresistible. Christina. But yeah, I don't know how I don't think she was that wealthy, especially after the divorce. Oh wait, no, she did. Taylor's the one that got divorced. I wish I'd taken notes through all of the videos that we've watched. This is the first one where I took notes because I don't remember a lot of details from the first couple. I'll have to go back and watch them again. That's going to be the last one we watch tonight. But I'm hoping to get back on here. I'm excited about these videos here. It's the interrogation. all the videos you see that are like kind of blue in color, I think they're just going through the interrogation of Ashley. But we have a couple more to go through before that. I think these are all fairly short ones, if I remember right. That one's an hour. But there's 3. That must be the 3 girls that they mentioned that worked at Sticks. Yep. So they're taking the stand next. Just out of curiosity, I want to know how long until we get to the interrogations. The defendant's husband.
Now,
All right, so really just a couple of hours. So only like maybe we can fit that into one more episode. And then after that episode, we'll get right into the interrogation, which I think is going to be interesting. I always kind of enjoy watching interrogations as well. So, but I have to go back and watch the other videos so that I can find out, like, if she was wealthy. Obviously, she wasn't because she spent her friend's money, but it almost seems like she built up this reputation of being wealthy, and then when she couldn't afford it anymore, she had this account that she was supposed to be holding the money for her friend in, but she wanted to keep appearances up. At least that's what I got from that witness. But we have a pretty good idea about where all of Taylor Wright's money went now. But anyway, I'm hoping to get back on here and do a jury duty on Wednesday, make up for the fact that we skipped a week there. And I'm also excited about the fact that everybody chose the Bennington Triangle for the next video coming up, because that is fairly close to my house, within a few-hour drive, and I may have talked one of my friends into going out there to the area. So that'd be cool. I don't know how much snow they have down there. Where I live, this past storm kind of took all the snow away. It was all rain for us, so maybe we could get onto the long trail. But anyway, I'll have that video up at some point this week. It's really interesting. I'm going to cover 5 different disappearances that happen in this one area in Vermont, and I think it stretches out into Massachusetts, maybe. There's a lot of mysterious aspects of the disappearances, but we're going to try to look past all the far out there theories and try to really kind of figure out what's going on over there in the woods. I have actually hiked half of the long trail on the Appalachian Trail, so I'm pretty familiar with the area. So anyway, I'm excited to get back out there too. Some of the answers that people have come up with about the disappearances over the years has been, pretty far out there, so it'd be cool to get down there and maybe do an overnight out on the long trail and see what happens. But anyway, that's going to be it for me tonight, you guys. I really appreciate you stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the testimony today. And on Wednesday, I should drop a post if I'm going to be going live. It should be around between 4 and 6 o'clock. So keep an eye out for that. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, you guys. I will